Spidey senses is tingling. Feel something, got my radars up. Something going on. I feel funny, can't tell me nothing different. My nose twitching, intuition setting in like Steve Vision. I still close my eyes, I still see visions. Still hear that voice in the back of my mind. So what I do, I still take heed, I still listen. I still paint that perfect picture. I still shine bright like a prism. My words still skipping. I know you can't, don't, won't get it. You niggas chose to ride that ship, salt with it. I'm still afloat. I ain't the captain of the yacht, but I'm on the boat. I ain't acting what I'm not, knowing that I don't.
Yes, it is the Castworthy Podcast back at you. I am Big Steve, aka Last of the Dying Breed, on the Twitter machine. Joined today by EJ, the sophisticated savage himself. It's a two-man game today. VP of Research got his signals crossed, and he's out celebrating the COVID of President Trump
Wow.
right now. But yeah, we're here. It is Sunday, October 4th, and yeah, what's up, man?
Sunday Funday.
It's been a eventful week in America.
Has it now?
It has been eventful in America. I tell you that. Karma, irony,
Drama.
all the good shit. Drama. Where should we start, man?
Well, kickoff is in about 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
Or maybe my math is off. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that.
So last week we did our picks. VP came out on top last week. He went 10-6.
Damn it.
Yeah, he went 10-6. I went 8-8, and you went 7-9.
God damn it.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. You went 8-8 nope. You went 7-9. The Ravens pick is what switched us up. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. I was right about Thursday. Broncos beat the Jets. 37-28.
The Broncos did beat the Jets.
A third string quarterback.
Did they fire y'all coach yet?
No. The epitome of white privilege reigns supreme.
Damn.
Adam Gase is still employed.
I know Vari picked Denver, you picked Denver, and I picked the Jets because I just thought they'd be able to get it together. I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah. Had some good shit there.
I figured third string quarterback. I mean, Cortland Sutton was out. Like, shit.
Yeah. The Jets found a way to beat the Jets, and Adam Gase still has a job.
That's true. All right. So this week we got some decent games. I mean, obviously, a lot of COVID going on in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
The first reported was Cam Newton.
Killer Cam.
The quarterback of the New England Patriots was testing, and they ended up tested positive, causing for that game to initially be canceled. They're saying that no additional players on New England have tested positive to this point. Of course, we know things can be weird. You know, they could start to get symptoms and then test. I mean, it can be all types of shit. But right now they're saying just Cam has tested positive on the Pats. So they are slated to play that game tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time, Monday night. That's going to make Monday great because we get 2 games tomorrow, barring any other setbacks. I think New England's going to get blown out because Cam Newton is going to be out, and they're playing against Pat Mahomes and the Mahomettes. Um,
That's crazy.
but yeah, and then we had last night. They said, well, even before that, pardon me, I forgot the Tennessee game. Tennessee has
In
had
Pittsburgh.
18 players test positive.
Tennessee and Pittsburgh.
Tennessee and Pittsburgh. Uh,
Mhm.
18 people, personnel included, for Tennessee have tested positive, causing for the Tennessee and Pittsburgh game to be postponed completely at this point.
Yep.
And then now last night they came out and they said that there was a fullback on New Orleans that tested positive. Um, Said fullback was retested this morning
False
twice
false
and it came
positive.
back negative. Yep, they got a false positive out of him, and everyone else on the team tested negative.
This shit is
So
nuts.
how crazy is that, right?
This shit is nuts.
How crazy is that? Um, Yeah, so I mean, shit. What do you think? How do you think this is going to impact the league moving forward? I mean, it seemed like they were somewhat prepared to just be like, "Fuck it, we're just going to postpone these shits." And I think they might have been better off if that Kansas City game ended up getting canceled, because then they would have had to down the line reschedule four different teams as opposed to just trying to get those two to make it up. Tennessee and Pittsburgh. They would have been able to maybe shuffle some shit to make Tennessee, Pittsburgh, um, Kansas City and New England switch some stuff around, especially since they're all AFC teams. It might have been a little bit easier, but how do you think it's going to impact it, man? They're saying coaches are asking for a 12-game season instead of the full 16 at this point because of the COVID cases. What do you think is going to happen with that?
Man, we knew that this could happen. They were knocking on the door with this. You know, football is so much harder than any other sport to manage because it's so much more people. So many other people involved. Um, I think at this point, the NFL is going to try to salvage as much as it can. It has to continue. It's too much money involved. I mean, and I think where they could have maybe went wrong to some degree is that they allowed teams and personnel to kind of do it on their own to police themselves, which is not turning out to be a good thing. But you got football all across America. High schools are playing, colleges playing, and we're only seeing this thus far in the NFL. What they're gonna do, I think they're gonna carry on. They're eliminating the bye weeks. Guys gonna have to go through it, and they're just hoping that by the time they get through the season, they'll have enough games to have something on paper. But it's yeah. TV
How,
ratings. I don't think TV ratings have taken a hit thus far. So even with the success of the NBA, the viewership has still been down. So the
yeah.
NFL is still winning.
How is it that the college teams are not seeing cases but the NFL is? I mean, a highly funded league in comparison to a bunch of kids that could be running around partying.
Well, see, the thing is, people don't realize being a college athlete is a job, man. It's you spend so much time with your team. You spend so much time in seclusion. It is a little easier, and pertaining particularly to the campus, if there aren't many students on campus, if it's a lot of virtual stuff going on, if people are on campus quarantining, that makes it a little easier environment for them to do that. And I mean, I don't think teams are really talking about it. I heard Nick Saban talking about how much they tested the guys and just saying how much his guys are dedicated to doing this. These guys, you got to think they're hungry. They're some of these guys are auditioning for that $1 million job, which is the NFL.
Right.
So I don't want to blow this. You know what I mean? If I'm a top 11 guy on Alabama, I'm not gonna jeopardize my potential $30 million to be out here fucking around.
Yeah, I think you're right, man. I think the expectation was that college kids were going to be irresponsible and just be out and about doing whatever. And you know, like you said, this is potential to change the landscape of your family forever. And I think that's why the maturity is coming in, and these guys that are already getting paid are obviously making decisions that are probably not the best ones at this point. As we can see.
Yeah, and
Um,
and, and we don't even know in some of these cases, we don't even know if like with Tennessee, staff guys had it. So it's like, did you guys go out and do something? And then too, overall with this virus, what what we are what we are not hitting on as a people and as a country, while our president, who we'll talk about later, is an idiot, didn't handle this thing right. This is something that is pretty hard to avoid. It's like the flu. It's just more aggressive and more dangerous for people with, weaker immune systems and pre-existing conditions. But this is something that is very tough to get around. So, with all of these people involved in all of these bodies, you just never know. Maybe these guys weren't being irresponsible, but maybe they around somebody they didn't know had it. Who knows, man? But these college athletes, I gotta commend them, and I understand where they're coming from. They're making a huge sacrifice, and it only echoes what I've been saying about college athletes for a long time. People don't understand that these guys have been chasing these dreams since they were 5, 6 years old. Shoot, your kids' age, and they don't want to jeopardize it, even if it doesn't mean they're going to make it to the NFL. These are once in a lifetime moments that they don't ever want to forget. Playing in the swamp at University of Florida, scoring 4 or 5 touchdowns in front of thousands of people. These are things that the average human being never gets to experience, and they don't want to sacrifice it. And people got to understand it's more than just a game for them.
yeah, I think you're right. You know, I, I didn't really think of that when and we knew it happened, but kind of escaped me when you say that the personnel, the employees, and the NFL, they have the contact tracing and things of that nature, and all these armbands and shit. But I don't know if they're putting them on like the staff, the employees, the guys that work at the facility cleaning or doing whatever. You know what I mean? The guys that fuel the fucking jet, like these guys. That could be out and about doing whatever, or just going to the grocery store and just not being responsible with washing their hands, and being sure what they're touching, and whatever. So yeah, it may not be the players themselves,
And didn't a
but
bus driver didn't a bus driver at one point, and I think it was a bus driver for one of these teams have it at one point?
I think it was Tennessee. I
Mhm.
think they're saying that it all started with the bus driver with Tennessee,
Mhm.
which is crazy, right? Because you're enclosed in that little space, so if he got it, there's a great chance, you know what I mean, um, that it's in that bus. You're just sitting in a cloud of COVID, a COVID cloud. Um, so yeah, man. But I just hope that they all get through it. I hope Cam Newton gets through it. Obviously, they should be in tip top health for the most part. They're professional athletes, but with this thing, you just never know how it's going to impact somebody's immune system or how it's going to attack the body. So I just hope for the best for any of them that did contract it, and hope for the safety of the rest of the teams and players moving forward,
Yep. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
Um, so with that out the way, let's talk about this week's
But
games. I
but
don't.
quickly though, you
Go
asked
ahead.
about college football yesterday. Did you make any picks or bets?
Um, I did not end up getting any bets in. I
Okay.
was trying. I was working on doing some working on a parlay, and by the time I got it in or was ready to submit it, it was after the start time, after kickoff.
Mm.
I did play a little bit of college football daily fantasy on Fanduel yesterday.
I didn't know you could do that.
Um, yeah, that's I've never played college football fantasy.
Oh
Um,
man. I didn't know you could
so
do that.
yeah, so I did that yesterday, and I was doing pretty good, and then I went with the quarterback from Mississippi State.
Why would you do that?
thought he was gonna have a decent game, Costello. So I paired him up with one of his wide receivers, and that was not good.
Yo, I had no clue. I am so mad I didn't know. I am so
Yeah.
mad I didn't know that you could do
So
that.
next week we'll be on that for sure.
Yeah, man.
I'll
I
tell
was
you.
kind of Negrodamus yesterday with my picks, man.
Did you hit all of them?
Um no, but I got like Tennessee, the Tennessee Missouri game. I haven't watched Tennessee all year, so I didn't know how good they may be, but they seem to be pretty damn good. I
Right.
nailed Florida. It was a trap game. They almost gave me a heart attack. But I picked TCU over Texas. SMU
Hmm.
beat Memphis, like I said. NC State beat Pitt, like I said. UNC got the W, which they should have, but it was close. Cincinnati beat South Florida. I didn't know how to call that. Oklahoma State won. Alabama won. Georgia blew Auburn out. Saw that coming. Arkansas beat Mississippi State. I said I didn't trust Mississippi State either. Iowa State, same thing with Oklahoma. Didn't trust them. Tulsa beat UCF. LSU
Yeah,
beat
that's what I was gonna
Vanderbilt.
bring up.
Clemson won like they're supposed to, but Tulsa beating UCF. I think this puts to bed all of the hoopla about UCF being a real contender, being a real team. Losing to Tulsa, that is pretty freaking bad. And for these UCF people and fans that like to get on them, about being a top program in Florida, you don't lose to Tulsa. You just don't lose to Tulsa. I mean, Florida State is really bad right now. They're suffering, but you just don't lose to Tulsa. So UCF, yeah, you might want to think that over again.
Is UCF behind the eight ball on that? Behind the eight ball on being a real college team? Wasn't that, I'm feeling like they haven't really been. I mean, what was it, 2 years ago that they went undefeated and everybody, here went crazy, like, oh, they should be considered champions and blah, blah, blah. But
Hmm.
since then, I mean, they've had a change at quarterback, right? They lost a wide receiver, I believe, as well, who graduated out. So I mean, are they an elite school? Like I don't know. I haven't really even heard that talked. I mean, obviously there's a lot of UCF fans over here. I live 5 minutes from them, but
Right.
but uh you know, I wouldn't expect them to be having such a great year personally.
I think it's tough because they're competing with three of the most historic football programs in college football, let alone the state of Florida. Um, so you got guys that want to go to Miami, guys that want to go to Florida State, guys that want to go to UF,
Right.
and everybody can't get there, right? But UCF is one of those schools that are probably going to get guys that were 4-star, 3-star guys that didn't have the notoriety, didn't have the last name, didn't have the prep IMG behind it. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, and so you'll get guys like that are dogs, and they're gonna want to play. They're gonna want to compete. It's just the thing that how many of them are you gonna get? That's the question. And how competitive are you gonna make these guys? And until they really play one of those schools in Florida, one of the top three big dogs, and beat them, they're never going to get the respect that they want. And the thing has been, well, we here. They don't want to play us. They don't want to play us. You're not really making it enticing for them to want to play you. You play Tulsa and you lose. Tulsa isn't even the best school in their state right now, on paper. So you
Right.
play Tulsa and you lose. And each year you don't really schedule any real big dogs. You don't really schedule any real big programs outside of the state of Florida. So if you beat Notre Dame, if you schedule a Notre Dame, or if you schedule a Texas or something, of course you got to make it worth their while, whoever the school is that you're playing. But until you beat one of these schools that they can look at you and say, okay, you guys are real, it's not going to happen. And then you lose to Tulsa. So here you are.
Right.
Unfortunately, they've got Memphis up, they've got Houston, they've got Cincinnati. So these are all conference games. But if I'm in the state of Florida, I'm not respecting your conference. You know, I'm not respecting your conference. You start the season off playing FAMU, which is at HBCU. You blow them out, but that's what you're supposed to do. Okay. You got Tulane, Temple, South Florida. You might not win that game. Cincinnati, you might not win that game. Houston, Memphis. These are all schools. None of them have won, a championship in years. Now, you did beat Georgia Tech. That beat Florida State, but Florida State is horrible right now. So I don't know. I think they can do it, but it remains to be seen. But losing to Tulsa was bad.
Yeah, I mean, not only did they lose to Tulsa, they had the lead on Tulsa last night.
Hmm.
Um, so my expectation, they were pretty big on them going into halftime, and I think I did take a bet on them, a live bet. I created a parlay with them in it where they would cover the 20 and a half that they were um, that that they were favored by, and that did not work out well. so um, so that didn't work. So UCF cost me some money last night. Not a
Hmm.
lot because it was a parlay. So I generally, I'll throw a 5 team parlay together, drop $10, $20 on it, maybe bring back 150, $180 if it hits.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, they didn't.
And what service, what site are you doing that through?
I've been using so there's two that I use. I use either Bookmaker, so bookmaker.eu, or recently I've been using MyBookie,
Mm,
mybookie.ag. I do like that one a little bit better because the prop bets are a little better on there.
mm,
I think personally they do have more prop bets, which I like to take. So like for example today I'm taking Dwayne Haskins under 212 passing yards is the line that they have him at because Baltimore. That's
right.
it. Right.
True.
And because they said they might sit him, right? If he gets off to a rough start, they might sit him. So if Baltimore can shut him down a little bit early on and they sit him, then that should be a hit. You know what I mean? Then I don't even got to worry about Baltimore kind of allowing him to get points in the during the trash time, garbage points. So or garbage yards. So but yeah, that's one of the ones that I got going today, and I got a couple 3 team, couple 5 team parlays, um, for some of my picks for today. Hopefully, those bring back a few.
My bookie AG holla at us.
Yeah, seriously,
He just
we
gave
out
you out
there.
a serious plug.
Yeah, it's out there. It's out there, man. We hitting. Um, And yeah, and then obviously, FanDuel and DraftKings, FanDuel and DraftKings is a weekly thing for me. That's always going to be a thing. Daily fantasy is just so um to me it's so addictive. Like fantasy football in general is, but I think daily fantasy like that is extremely addictive because you're building the team based on research that you've done and what you think is going to happen. So and you're not tied to the same players every week like you are with season long fantasy.
Yeah.
So those are two of my favorites there, in addition to just the regular betting. But we'll see how it brings back. Hopefully, bring back a couple dollars, and
I keep
if
saying I'm
not,
gonna get into it, but I never do. One of these days I am.
yeah, you just you gotta start light, get in there real quick, throw a couple bucks up, play a couple $2, $3. Just to get, I mean, the biggest thing about those FanDuel and DraftKings is how you build your lineups, right? Lineup construction is so big.
Hmm.
I think people get in there and don't realize, because there's a salary cap, that you can't just pick all the great players. So it sounds so easy. You could just go, if from someone who's never seen it or played it, can be like, oh, well, just pick, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Russell Wilson, Julio Jones, but it doesn't work that way. There's obviously there's more to it, and so lineup construction I think is probably the biggest thing there, and getting in on some light contests, dollar, $2, $3 contests to kind of see, and then at the end of the contest going up to whoever won and seeing how they construct their lineup, and then just over time you start to build, you start to see things and see players and find those sleepers and those low price guys that will allow you to make those stacked lineups with some other pretty good guys in there. So
Right.
So that's where I'm at now. I mean, I've been doing that since they kind of started for years now. But I do feel really comfortable about building lineups right now, and I think again that's the biggest piece of it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, um, all right, let's. Do you have the schedule up? I don't think I have
I
the schedule
sure
for this
do.
week. All right,
I sure do. If my computer start acting crazy.
cool. I have I do have VP's picks, and so let's go down the line.
Yes,
So we
indeed.
had Denver and the Jets. You and VP both had Denver, and I chose the Jets. Terrible decision.
Worst in your life.
Yeah.
Worst in your life. Got the
Um,
Saints versus the Lions. Lions are at home.
so
I'm
New
taking the
Orleans
Lions.
versus Detroit. You got Detroit.
Yeah. No Michael Thomas.
No
Drew
Michael
Brees is in
Thomas.
limbo. The Lions got to win last week, so I think maybe whatever's going on with Matt Patricia out there, I think it might actually be kicking.
And they're home.
Yep.
Um, I don't feel comfortable with the Lions stopping Kamara, so I'm gonna go with the Saints. Um, and I think actually, yep, VP also chose the Saints. So you are a loner on that one.
Lone Wolf.
Detroit. Lone Wolf.
Chargers at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh,
Tampa Tom.
that's in Tampa, huh?
Mm-hmm. Tampa Tom.
Yeah.
I'm taking Tom.
So no Godwin
No
for the
Godwin.
Bucks.
No Legarrette. Not Legarrette. Leonard Fournette is out.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Chargers, the only one they're missing really, I think, is Cam Akers, but I think everyone else is healthy on their side. I mean, obviously missing Tyrod, but you know, we knew that. So you're taking Tampa Bay?
Yep. Tampa Bay versus a rookie quarterback and what's his name? Todd Bowles is a coordinator. I believe Todd
Yeah,
Bowles is a coordinator. So Todd Bowles wasn't a great head coach, but he's a damn good defensive coordinator. So I'm going with Todd Bowles and Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
very much so. I'm rolling with Arians and the Bucks as well. And VP also took the Bucks.
Okay.
Who's up next?
Bengals are hosting the Jaguars. I think this is going to be a shootout between Garner Minshew and Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow gets his first win of the year. Bengals.
Yeah, so VP took the Jags. Man, this one is challenging for me, man. I think Joe Mixon's gonna have a really big day. I think he's gonna run all over them, and I agree with you. I think Joe Burrow gets the win here, so I'm going Cincy. So you and I are on Cincy. VP took the Jags. Next
Next
up,
one, my bad. I was looking at a Senior E commenting and dipped in and out, but he commented dipped in and out. Um, talking about shots. Vikings are hosting. Oh no, the Texans are hosting the Vikings. You got Deshaun Watson on the ropes right now. Your GM just doesn't love you. Got rid of your top prospect, your top target, and they've just been having struggles this whole time.
mhm.
I think Kirk Cousins and the Vikings are coming into town. I don't know, man. That's a tough one for me. Yeah.
Yeah. The Vikings. I think everyone's healthy for them, for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
Houston, I don't think they have any injuries either. David Johnson's good. Deshaun is good. Eh, The
Yeah.
Vikings, I think they're gonna hit a stride. I feel like they started out the season really slow. Kirk Cousin hasn't been great. It looked like they were missing Stephon Diggs, but they do have that kid Jeffries, I think his name is
And Jefferson
Jefferson.
from University of Florida,
I like I
who
like
should
him.
have as a Jets team. His father is the wide receivers coach, and we didn't draft him.
Wow.
Nevertheless, wow, yeah. Yeah.
So no Doc Rivers on that one, huh?
Nope.
Uh, yeah, this is a tough one for me, man. I'm I'm hard pressed to go Houston. Um,
I'm gonna go out on a limb and go with the Vikings.
Vikings.
Yeah.
I feel like Dalvin Cook might eat up that Houston defense, but I'm gonna go Houston on this one.
Who VP
And
got?
VP went with the Vikings as well.
Hmm.
So this will be my contrarian uh side
Going out
pick.
solo dolo on that one.
Yeah, this next one we're gonna all have the same team.
Seahawks versus Dolphins. I'm gonna go with the Seahawks,
Yeah,
but I
we
think
gotta
this is
go.
gonna be closer than people think. I think this is gonna be one of those games. Russell Wilson does not look like himself. Um, and I think you know, I got a strange feeling to pick the Dolphins. But I just the Jets fan in me and the hater in me will not. Um, but I think this is gonna be a close one. I really do.
Miami's at home, and
Hmm.
they're usually interesting at home.
Yep.
Especially like against New England, right? Russell Wilson. I mean, I think what people forget, right? They're thinking Tyler Lockett, but they're forgetting that Miami brought in Byron Jones. So I think DK gets off. Pause. And so the other part of Seattle that people are not really talking too much about is Chris Carson was hurt last week at the end of the Cowboys game. He, hurt his knee a little bit, but he
Hmm.
practiced at the end of this week on Friday. And Carlos Hyde, who is their backup, is out.
Mm.
So I look for DJ Dallas, their third string. I think he's a rookie. Pretty sure he's a rookie to have a piece of this game. And he is actually a sleeper that I'm going to be playing on FanDuel. I think he's going to get in the end zone, maybe punch one in. And if Chris Carson goes down, like if he retweaks that ankle, DJ Dallas can be a big one, and he's cheap on FanDuel. So that's somebody that I'm rolling with. I am obviously rolling with the Seahawks as well. I do have a lineup with Ryan Fitzpatrick on and Parker on my FanDuel because I think it is going to be a back and forth game. I hope it's a back and forth game because Seattle's secondary is without your boy
Jamal Adams.
Jamal. So
Yep.
yes, I think this will be an interesting game.
Yep. Next game, Browns at Dallas Cowboys
That's in Dallas.
in Dallas in Jerry's world. I'm
Okay.
taking Jerry's world, taking Dak, Dakota to get back, bounce back.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys and VP has the Cowboys as well.
The biggest thing in this game is going to be Miles Garrett versus y'all banged up O line.
Yes. He should be lining up against uh Tyron Smith.
Mm,
Tyron Smith should be able to kind of push him off a little bit. They might double up on him a little bit here and there. Um, but if he comes over the middle, over the center, we gonna be in trouble.
yeah,
Because we don't have any center play right now since Travis Frederick uh, retired. But I think they keep it on the ground against them. I think that if they're smart, they run it straight at him um, to kind of slow him down and get him back on his heels.
right.
And you know, we've we've stopped Odell since he's come in the league. So there's that, right?
Yeah, and things ain't been
Um,
clicking with them either. So
yeah.
I'm hoping they
So
have a bad game, so they'll want to deal them to us.
Landry might do okay, but
Shout out to
yeah,
him. He's had like 100 consecutive games without missing or something like that.
yeah,
Shout out to
absolutely.
him.
Jarvis Landry, man, he's an Iron Man.
He's a gamer, yeah. You
He
got
got one
Cardinals in Charlotte for the Panthers.
AZ versus the Panthers. That's gonna be an interesting one. Um, no
I'm going with the
McCaffrey, but I
Cardinals.
still think Mike Davis gets it.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cardinals
Gets the
though.
ball. Yeah, I'm going Arizona as well. VP chose the Panthers,
Hmm. Okay.
but I'm choosing AZ because yeah, DeAndre Hopkins.
AZ, hell of a rapper. I'm going with the Cardinals. Next game, Ravens are in DC. So they took a 45-minute drive down to Landover. Battle of the Beltway here. Pretty sure what's going to happen.
Yeah,
Ravens are going to kill them. I think
yeah,
we're all in agreement on that.
yeah. That's an easy one. I got the Ravens. VP got the Ravens. You got the Ravens.
Yep.
Um, Next up,
Giants are playing LA Rams.
in where are they playing?
In LA. In LA.
Oh
So the
man,
Giants flew across country to get their ass whooped, pretty much. I'm taking LA.
yeah, that Rams defense is gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
I got the Rams as well. VP also has the Rams. Sterling Shepard is still out for the Giants. Obviously, Saquon is still out for the Giants. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
they're in trouble, man. I'm hoping Evan Ingram can get off this week a little bit. I need him to catch some passes, and there's no better team to try and do it against than the Rams. So we will see.
Yeah. Bills are in Las Vegas. They're playing the
Ooh,
Raiders.
that's gonna be a big game, man.
It's gonna
I
be a
think
good
that's a
one.
real big game.
It's gonna be a good
Um,
one.
no injuries, right?
No.
On either side. Well, Henry Ruggs Jr. or the third rather
Mm.
is out, so that's a little hiccup for the Raiders. But I think everyone else is healthy for the most part. Carr. Um, yeah, this is.
I'm
I think everyone's gonna be on the Bills, man.
yeah. I mean, it's hard to pick against them because they're finding ways to win. Josh Allen, who I've said 1,000 times I wanted over Sam Darnold. I still maintain that till this day. He's been finding ways to win, and that defense has been holding together, man. It's a tough one, man. It's a tough one. I'm hoping the Raiders win. I don't know though. And this would be 4-0 if the Bills win.
Hmm.
Shit.
That's tough for y'all.
Mm. I'm going with the Bills, man.
Bills.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Makes me sick to say that.
I'm gonna go the other way around on this one. I'm gonna go the Raiders. They looked really good against New Orleans at home in that first game, and I think if they can keep it if they keep the ball on the floor on the ground, they can do all right. I think Singletary. I don't know if Zach Moss is playing for them.
I think he's out.
If Zach Moss is out, I don't really trust Singletary that much against that Raiders defense, man. And I feel like Gruden is he can come up with a game plan for a running quarterback or for a mobile quarterback rather.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna take the Raiders. I think they squeak it out at the end, maybe by field goal, kicking a field goal at the end. So I'm taking the Raiders on that one.
Who does VP have on that?
He had the Bills as well.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Next is Indianapolis going just across state lines to Chicago to play the Bears.
This is gonna be a stupid game too.
Colts are gonna win this.
Nick
I
Foles is
Nick
starting.
Foles is starting. Colts have the number one defense in the league right now.
They do.
Um, yeah, they got number one defense in the league. I'm going with the Colts. Bears are 3-0. This shit show has to come to an end today.
Bears have a good secondary though. Where has Khalil Mack been?
Damn good question. I just thought he'd be, and maybe he is quietly and silently wreaking havoc. And he's just not getting sacks. That happens often. When you're a high profile guy and you garner that much attention. But I haven't been watching their games, so um, I don't know. I just think Nick Foles. I don't know, but you got Magic Nick back there, and the Colts. The Colts had. the Colts were in a game with us before Sam Darnold threw a pick six. So you know what? I'm actually gonna change that. I'm gonna go with the Bears. I hate to
The
do it. I'm
Bears.
gonna go with the Bears. Go with the Bears.
VP took the Bears as well. Man. See, and this one is where I'm struggling. I'm struggling big time on this game. I don't think I put them in any of my bets this week. Man, the Bears have just been finding ways at the end of the game to get in there, and get it done. Indy,
And
T.Y. Hilton is
what
getting
other way? What other
trashed.
way to make uh the Eagles look horrible and have Nick Foles do his thing, and you guys are struggling at quarterback.
Right,
So
and we'll get into that very soon.
who you taking?
Very. Man, shit. I gotta go with the Bears with you guys, man. I
The Bears.
The only reason I got to go with the Bears is because T.Y. Hilton's not getting it done, man. And while I think Philip Rivers is good, he needs targets. He needs somebody to throw the ball to. But watch for Mo Alley Cox. Mo Alley Cox might get one this week.
Mo Alley
Watch
Cox.
Mo Alley Cox. That's Mark's favorite guy.
Oh
What's
man.
the
Next.
other guy? The white dude that's Jack Doyle. He's back as well, so he might steal some of those. Actually, Jimmy Graham might get off in this game too, man. Against
Hmm.
Indy.
Hmm.
We'll have to watch that, man. I'm watching that game. Who's up next?
Eagles are in San Francisco to play the 49ers, who have been finding a way to win with no one. The team that has no one. I'm going to go with the 49ers. Uh,
49ers are playing the Eagles.
yeah,
Is that a late game?
8:20 p.m.
Okay. So they are sitting Carson Wentz
Are they? I
so
didn't see
far.
any of that was confirmed.
That's what I saw. I could be wrong, but I thought I saw that earlier. Let me just double check that.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen anything say that just yet. Yeah,
It
I
might
haven't.
be early for that. But I thought I saw that come across early. Will Jalen Hurts start for the Eagles?
Yeah, I haven't seen that being confirmed yet.
Yeah,
Haven't been confirmed.
they may not. They may not. I don't know
Who you
where I
got?
saw.
Who VP got? Who you got?
VP has. Damn it, where'd it go? He took the 49ers.
I'm rocking with him, man.
Yeah, I'm taking the 49ers.
Yeah.
Um,
Sorry, Eagles fans, but you're gonna be in the
I'm not.
shitter with us.
I'm not sorry for them at all. They're
Shout out
trash.
to McGurk's Pub, man. It's the Eagles bar. I didn't realize it was an Eagles bar until I went last week with E. And I'll just say it's a pretty good atmosphere in there.
McGurk's.
McGurk's Pub, Fed Hill.
Interesting.
Pretty good atmosphere. But next game, Patriots are going to Kansas City. No Cam Newton. I'm really disappointed in that because I thought they would give Kansas City a run, and I want to see Cam continue to do well. I don't even know who the hell's going to play if Cam don't play. I don't even know who the quarterback is. What was it? Stidham? Stidham?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's yeah. So
Pat
Kansas
Mahomes
City
boys should
across the
win.
board.
Yeah,
Yeah, Kansas City across the board. And then who's the last game?
Falcons in Green Bay.
Nah, no, that's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good game.
No Julio Jones.
Is
Um,
Julio out?
Julio's
So,
still questionable
I
to
think
the minute, and Calvin Ridley is also questionable.
yeah, I think they said that Julio is trending towards playing.
Hmm.
There's a better chance that he's playing versus not. Ridley is the one that they're concerned about.
Yeah.
With his ankle.
Hmm.
Um, but Atlanta's just been blowing leads left and right, man. What about the oh, God? Why can't I remember his name? The
Who,
wide
Devontae
receiver,
Adams?
Devontae.
He practiced. He seemed like he was good. It's one of those situations, like they like to do. Still questionable up until the minute, but he's practiced in full. They were trying to see if he was going to go last game, so that kind of lets me kind of feel like he's pretty much going to be out there. They're still saying he's going to be a game time decision, but you
Gotcha.
know, I think he's going to go. I don't know if I should even play him though, but mm, but yep.
Yeah, I think man, Aaron Rodgers has been doing really well. Um Aaron Jones has been doing really well for them, and Atlanta's just not they're just not what they need to be. And I think I'm surprised they haven't fired their coach. That's that privilege.
Yeah, he he should have been fired. He should have been
But
fired.
I'm taking Green Bay on this one.
Me too.
Yeah, VP took Green Bay as well.
Yeah, Atlanta's in the shitter.
All right. So that solidifies it. Week 4 in the books. We'll see how that ends, and how that plays out. I'm excited to watch some games. Real quick, let's touch on your boy, man.
Donnie T.
Let's talk about it, man. Donnie T. I mean, there was a lot this week that took place with him. First, Tuesday he got out there like a juvenile. Um and trying to scream over Biden, and talking about his son, and
That was
all
low.
yeah, all types of crazy disrespectful shit. And he dragged Biden into it slightly, I believe. Biden told him to shut up.
Won't you just shut up, man?
Yeah, he told him shut up. Told him he's the worst president that the country's ever had.
Liar,
Like,
scumbag.
he called him a liar. He called him all types of shit, man.
Oh, incredible.
He dragged him, and I think that was Trump's whole plan. I think his plan was to try and get into Biden's head, scream over him, have him fumble over his words, so that their campaign can make ads of him, fumbling, and then try to make again keep what they've been playing for a year now, him being senile and crazy and all this other shit. You know what I mean? Um, I think, when there was time for Biden to speak, where Trump shut up for a little bit when they were talking about black people and African Americans, I think Biden on that segment did extremely well. Um, and Trump, his norm, they asked about African Americans, and he talked about police. um, replied with that. And then he missed a huge opportunity on for him. I mean, I get it. He would have lost supporters, but the biggest thing that hit the internet before Thursday was him getting an opportunity just to say, "Hey, fuck supremacy." Like, you know what I
White
mean?
supremacy.
White supremacy, rather.
Hmm.
And he just didn't do it. Um, he made a statement. Stand. What was it? Stand down and stand by, which was
Proud
perceived by
Boys.
Proud Boys. Which was received and perceived by many as him basically saying, "Keep keep them oiled up." You know, keep them oiled up and ready to
Keep your
go.
torches burning.
Right on my mark, get set. Is what it sounded like. So, did you watch the debate?
Yeah, man. I struggled to watch it because it was just, you know, Trump just going in and doing what he did. I felt like Joe, tried to keep it professional and cordial. But this was some of the stuff that me and E were afraid of. Just Trump's tactics and would Joe be time enough for him? And people are saying, well, How could he deal with a little idiot, a little kid? I mean, there are ways that you can aggressively get into a verbal uh match with someone. And I think unfortunately for Joe, he just got frustrated, because this guy is so stupid, and he just kept, going on and on and on. And it was hard for me to watch and sit through. So after a while, I couldn't do it. I kept coming back to it here and there, but it was horrible, man. It's just horrible.
Yeah, yeah. It was not good at all. As far as I was concerned, just the two of them, right? And I'm talking in general, I'm not speaking to side versus side. I'm just talking about you got these two people that are basically fighting, um, back and forth, for our trust to be the leaders of this country, or leader of this country, to get the to be the strongest person in the world, right? And both of them are acting like children. Um, one obviously caused it, right? And when you're talking about a child, it's well, he started it,
Right.
but he did what he did, right? And that was, I think that was his goal. His following,
They
and
love
his
that.
right. His supporters are okay with that. They have no problem with that type of behavior. And there is no maturity amongst that group. And so they're okay with him acting that way. So this was nothing different than what they're used to and what they expect. For us, we're like, this is not what we expect. This is not what we want in a candidate. Like, we've already questioned, is Joe the right person for us, right? But we also understand that he's the only choice at this point. Um, and I feel like it's now in the hands of Kamala on Wednesday to kind of revive all of this. I think Joe made some good points, um, and the saving grace for him in that debate was Donald Trump hurting himself, basically, not striking down white supremacy. If he had, then I think it would have been a hard time for Joe,
Yeah.
because just the black supporters or the people that were on the fence, those fence supporters we always talk about. I think part of that, help might have helped swing them and sway their thoughts, towards the Biden campaign, if they're not racist, right? And obviously some of them, if they're on the fence, they probably are racist, or they have racist tendencies, um because they haven't seen for the last 4 years how racist this guy has been and how much hate he has caused and generated amongst our people in our country. So um yeah, the debate was a mess, man. It was a mess, and but I do look forward to Wednesday. Kamala is going to shatter uh
Pence.
Pence's heart. Like, I think I don't even think it's gonna be close. I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be really bad.
Yeah, Kamala Harris is sharp. This is what she does for a living. You know what I mean? And she's highly intelligent. Shit. I mean, she was giving Joe that work when they were going at it. So yeah, I'm with you. I look forward to it. But yeah, man, politics as usual. I just think, and again, I say this, outside of the racism and that aspect of what Trump has promoted for the white people, I think one of the things that he ran on, one of the big ticket things that he ran on, was that politics, as usual, is the problem. And I think that has been the problem for many Americans as it stands. You have congressmen and women, who every day we have to question, do they really care about the common people? And I think because politics has been per the usual for so long, we have opened the door for a monster like Donald Trump to make his way in. And like you alluded to, it has riled the closet racists to jump out of the closet and do the things that they're doing. And I think now, as a black people, it's more of a time for us to start to unify. It's more of a time for us to start to mobilize. If you're not armed, you should get armed. It's time for our communities to do some real healing. And as we've been stressing, go vote. Um, not only for this election for the presidency, but for your local election, man. Like, Trump continues to take shots at Democratic ran cities, man. But shit, when you're looking at the violence and drugs and crime that some of our cities have been experiencing for the last 40 something years, it's just like it's time for a change, man. And we can't depend on these politicians to do it. I think if anything that we are learning from Trump, we got to get together because if this guy wins, like you said before, it's going to be over, man. It's going to be over. It already is bad now. I don't know that we can come back if he gets another 4 more years. So,
It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough, man.
but he has the China virus now, though.
Right. So 48 hours after his display of adolescence and immaturity, I actually stopped watching it. The debate that is.
Mm.
So 48 hours after, he tweets me and Flotus, um, what the fuck's her name? Melania, have tested positive for COVID-19,
Mm.
not for the China virus.
Now it has a name.
Ooh, Odell Beckham just caught a touchdown.
Wow.
From Jarvis Landry, who threw it.
Oh man, I got him on my bench. That's fucked up.
Mm.
That sucks.
Um, yeah. So, but not the China virus, not the what else was he calling it? There was so many different things he called it, but now it's now it's COVID-19, right?
Yeah.
Now it's the actual name, and we'll get it. We'll get through it together.
Mm.
We'll get through this together.
Mm.
We'll start their quarantine. They're gonna get through it together. Yeah, man. So, what do you think? Like, I know there's a lot of different thoughts on this, right? The initial knee jerk is, "Ha, gotcha, bitch." um, we knew it, Now maybe you'll take this serious, but he's so fucking arrogant that you just don't think he will, or he won't.
Right.
Um, and then you have those people that are saying it's just it's bullshit, right? So some people are saying it's his campaign basically saying, listen, we can't have this guy on stage again because of what took place on Tuesday, how bad he acted, or um so let's put him away for 14 days, then we can prolong it at a later time. They don't see him again, and we just run this as we can, his camp. um but what
Or
do you think?
or I mean, or to that end, some people have said, he's using this as a publicity stunt and say, "Hey, well, I had it and I beat it, and look at me,
Wasn't
I'm
that bad?
wasn't that bad. It's not really. Hey, I got it under control.
Right.
I don't know,
I'm
man.
old. uh you know and they put out this some news, right? We won't call it fake news, but that he had an experimental drug that he used, or that he was taking, um which to me that sounds like full on bullshit, specifically because you're the president of the United States. They're not gonna experiment on you. Like, it's not gonna happen. um but yeah, do you think it's a hoax? You think it's real deal?
I don't know what to think. Um, you want to believe that the president of the United States wouldn't make this up, but he's also a TV star. He's also a failed businessman. He's capable of anything, man. And who knows? At this point, though, I don't know what it's really gonna do. It doesn't change anything for me and who I'm voting for. But yeah,
Yeah.
man, it's nuts This whole thing is just crazy. We've never seen anything like it. The forefathers of this nation are rolling in their graves, rolling in their graves. They gotta be. It is a mockery of all sorts. So, but the Simpsons, who have been accurate in predicting everything, predicted that he might not make it some point in time. Obviously, he will one day kick the bucket, but I don't know. Maybe we should follow the Simpsons.
I mean, listen, um, I don't want to pray for nobody's death. I don't want to hope or wish for anyone's death, especially the president. Obviously, he's the president of the United States. But at first I thought Hoax, full of shit, garbage, trash. But then you start to see all the other people that came out positive, right? Kellyanne Conway,
Hmm.
Chris Christie,
Rona.
Rona, a bunch of people, right?
uh,
So that made me think, oh shit. And now you got people that they're saying that White House officials are saying that they're not going to work. Like they're not going to the White House because they're concerned with their safety, concerned for their safety. So that makes me think that it's real, and not a hoax. Uh I did stop to think though yesterday, and I was thinking, what would history look like if he dies from the coronavirus?
Yeah, and that's funny. We've only had one other president, to my knowledge, that has passed away while in office, and that was Roosevelt, who was already sick, uh, at the time with, I believe, polio. But he died in the middle of his term, and then Lincoln, of course, was assassinated. But yeah,
And um so what is it? Amendment 25, I believe, where he can pass the presidency to the vice, and he chose not to do that so far. Um so reports say that he's had trouble breathing, so labored breathing, and a cough and things of that nature. Obviously, you want the president to be okay, right? Like I don't want Donald Trump to be okay. Like I want Donald Trump to die.
the
But I mean like the idea of Donald Trump, right? Um, I don't want
position.
yeah, I don't want our president, as he is the president of our nation, to die. So I hope that he does get better. We are already the laughing stock of the world,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
should that happen, I think it gets worse.
yeah.
So I do hope, I do hope that he, as the president, has a very difficult time with it, though.
Damn.
And the reason I say that because if for some reason, he is reelected, um, which we hope he isn't, but if he is and he has a hard time with it, maybe he'll have a different outlook. I know we know he's a arrogant, pompous piece of shit. Um, but sometimes when you experience something, it just changes how you approach stuff. Touchdown for the Cowboys. Dak Prescott to CD Lamb.
Also on my bench. Also on my bench. Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it will bring some empathy to the table. I doubt it. I just think Donald Trump is on a mission. He's a man on a mission. He's got an agenda. It's to promote white supremacy and white patriarchy at all costs, and that's what he's there for. I still can't understand how 50% of white women voted for this guy, but you know what can I say?
I can't. Yeah. Women in general, any women, white, black, or indifferent, to vote for him. I mean, it's terrible, man. Terrible. Um,
Indeed,
but
indeed.
yeah, I mean, the memes have been funny. They've been interesting. Um, Tons of them, and just seeing how his supporters have reacted has been funny. How quickly they change. Oh, you shouldn't. You shouldn't make fun of the president. Oh, clearly coronavirus isn't that serious if you're making jokes about our president having it. Oh, but just a minute ago it was a hoax. It was nothing. It wasn't a thing. But now, because you feel like your savior has gotten it, and we need to be empathetic of it. Fuck out of here. If Obama had that shit or Biden had that shit, we know what that shit would be like. They've already prayed for his downfall. They prayed for Obama to get murdered and assassinated and killed and all types of shit. So yeah, fuck you and fuck your fucking president.
There it
That's where
is.
I'm at.
There it is. There it
That's
is.
where
Aside from Trump, the Lakers are up 2-0 over the Heat.
yeah, yeah. I think those
Sweet.
were some big losses for them, man. Bam Adebayo, Goran Dragic, um, and the two white boys, Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, the two guys that I said were leading that Heat team, aside from Jimmy Butler, that they were going to be big. They seem to be starstruck, man. They seem to be starstruck out there. They're not looking like they have throughout the playoffs, especially in that last round where Tyler Hero was kind of doing it. And I think that's looking on the other side of what you're dealing with, and you have a LeBron James and an Anthony Davis, that might do it to you as a rookie, you know.
That's scary, man.
So it's rough, man. I think they're gonna sweep them.
Yeah, I bring the brooms out, and I'm happy. You know why? Because I hate every Miami sports team, every single one. I hate every single one. The Heat, man. Let's just be real, man. The Heat are they're a manufactured franchise. They're exactly what Dr. Miami is to fake boobs. Like Pat Riley, kudos to him for putting it together. But if Kobe and Shaq don't break up the band in LA, D Wade never gets Shaq, and he may go down as one of the best guys in Miami with no help for years and years to come. Who knows? Then they stack the deck with Bosh and LeBron. Then you get your rings from that. Now here you are, you're in the finals, got Jimmy Butler. Now this team, I will say, is one of those teams from the mud. They stuck it out last year. They didn't tank. They built this team up. But I hate them. Fuck them. I hate the franchise. I'm glad you're gonna get swept. This is the bubble championship, but I think LeBron deserves this, man. All things aside, he's getting up there in age. He's sacrificed a lot. All of the things that he's doing off the court, just bringing attention to stuff, man. Shout out to
Yeah,
him, and I think he deserves it. Anthony Davis, suffered for so long. You know,
injuries left and right.
I think he deserves it, man. And I think it'll be dope for the city of LA. Losing 2-4, losing Kobe, man, to come back and get this, man. And I think it's gonna be a super emotional moment when they win, man, because Kobe would have been right there. You know,
Kobe and Nipsey, man,
yeah, Kobe would have been right there.
but more so Kobe, 100%. I'm with you on
Definitely,
that.
definitely.
I so we've been experiencing irony all week, from LeBron. I'm sorry, from Trump to now Miami fans. The irony, I've seen some Miami fans say, "Oh, it's because they have a super team." Wait a minute, what? What? You built that shit.
You started it.
You started that shit.
There you go. You're welcome.
So a product of Miami's championships came back to bite them.
Hmm.
Um, and now they're saying, "Oh, you saw VP Miami fan. Oh, I need Pat Riley to go out and get Giannis next year." Like, dog, when does it stop?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. As a New York Knicks fan, I hated seeing it. It cheapens things. It really, the parity of the league, it kind of cheapens things, man. Like you had those teams back in the '90s, the Knicks and the Heat, going at it, and it was just different. Now it's just like okay, they got this guy, they got this guy, they got that guy. I mean, in Boston, they did it right. They drafted those guys. They took guys that nobody wanted, and they pieced it together. Miami, I would say, they did good drafting, and they got Jimmy Butler. So I feel like it's some parity there. But then you're talking about going to get Giannis. Like, come on, man. It's just like it. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what Boston reminds me of this year? This Boston team reminds me of the OKC team,
Hmm.
the team that put together Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, um,
James Harden.
James Harden. What's the power forward's name that plays for Toronto now?
Oh, Serge Ibaka.
Serge Ibaka. I mean, they put a team together. They lost to Super Team Miami, and then they broke up, and it looks like that's similar. The similarities are there, right? They put together Kemba Walker, Jalen Brown, Jason Tatum, Theus. I mean, they put together a very good team, a solid squad, but they just can't get it done. And I don't think they've paid Tatum yet, right? They paid Jalen Brown,
No, I don't think they have
um,
yet.
and I don't think they've paid Tatum. So I mean, they're gonna have to pay him, and if they don't, there you have it, right? It's gonna be just like, or even not if they don't, but if he takes it and decides, you know what, this ain't working for me, this franchise is not doing it for me. Um, then you have OKC again, right? It's gonna be the KD leaving, the Jason Tatum leaving, right? And you'll have a solid team that might make the playoffs year after year, but they ain't going nowhere further. And then they'll get a veteran like they did Chris Paul this year. They'll make a run, and people will be like, "Oh, Cinderella story," and then they'll lose to a good team,
Hmm.
another good team in Denver, right? Um, but yeah, man, not to take the focus off of LeBron and the Lakers for what they are doing this year. I think it was expected. I think going into it, we thought that it was going to be either the Clippers or the Lakers, and I chose the Clippers for sure. I didn't think that they were going to have such bad chemistry between Paul George and Kawhi,
Kawhi, yeah.
and Paul George would just stop being able to fucking make shots. But and then obviously, there was more to it. Harold started playing like shit, in the bubble, just big pieces that just weren't performing for the Clips. Um,
And they shipped
and
Doc to Philly.
and then, well, yeah, now
God
Doc's
damn it.
going to Philly. So
God
now,
damn it.
so I mean, congratulations to the Lakers and LeBron James. Because it's premature, but it's gonna happen. And
Hmm.
yeah, man, LeBron put himself out there, man. He put himself out there, like you said, this year. He fought for us. His word is out there. He don't give a shit what they're saying. He doesn't care whether the ratings are down. He's doing it the right way. He's doing it right now, and so yeah,
Shout out to
he
LeBron.
deserved. They definitely deserve it this year, man. So shout out to them. Doc Rivers going to Philly. We haven't heard anything from E about that.
I think he's still
Um,
recovering.
yeah, he might still be. He might. I mean, I think he had a drink yesterday and then probably fell back into his alcohol-induced coma.
That dude is a wild boy, man. He's a wild boy. That's,
Yeah,
that's all I can say. He's a wild boy. Yeah, Doc going to Philly. Not much to see there. They already had a top team in the East. Doc is a good coach. He's a phenomenal coach. Um, I
Tom
mean,
Brady
at
went
least we
to a
think
big
so.
six.
Did he?
Hmm.
Damn it, Thomas. Um, yeah, I mean, far as we know, Doc is a great coach. He's had success when he's had great guys. But I don't know what he can do in Philly. I don't know. Joel Embiid is an enigma. Ben Simmons, same thing. So it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see. I mean, they'll continue to dominate as they have been, but the East has been pretty bad. I'm hoping that my Knicks can make a move or two. Um, Dibs is the coach now, so I think we'll compete for the eighth slot. And I'm just hoping that teams are more competitive this next season, if we have one. you know.
Right.
So
Um. Yeah. So I think Doc Rivers in Philly is it can be a good thing. They need Ben Simmons to stay healthy. I mean, he finally got a jump shot and then he got hurt. Or he finally got over his fear of shooting a jump shot and then he got hurt. Um, but yeah, you need someone that can control Joel Embiid, man. You need someone that's gonna keep this guy focused. Have him actually be there for the game and not for the bragging rights and trash talking. And I think they can do something over there with him, for sure. And obviously your Knicks, RJ Barrett, those guys, they need someone. They need a veteran from somewhere, right? And I don't know who that's gonna be. Um, maybe Russell Westbrook.
I would do it if I'm our front office. I'm trading for Russell Westbrook. Chris Paul asking price might be too high, especially for his age.
Yeah,
Just the speculation out there, they were talking about giving up a lot of different people for him, and I don't know that you want to blow up a team for a guy at that stage, even though he would be a great coach on the floor. I think Russell Westbrook would fit our team better because of the things that he does, and you have RJ Barrett that could be a natural two guard at that point. Then you got Mitchell Robinson who plays around the rim, so somebody like Russell driving in could, get a two-man connection with him. And, Russell is an assist walking. So if it's anybody that can get your other guys into the game, it's him. He won't have another star there that he has to compete with, mentally to get touches and give. So I would go for Russell Westbrook. I really would. But remains to be seen. Remains to be seen.
yeah. I think if I'm the Knicks, I go get Russ, um, and then I try to get like Kevin Love for the low. Like I
Mm.
wouldn't, I wouldn't spend a lot on him. I wouldn't give a lot to Cleveland for him.
I
But
wouldn't give Cleveland shit for Kevin Love. He ain't been the same since he left Minnesota.
yeah, but with a Russell Westbrook, it's a different look. You know what I mean? Like LeBron was shoot first. Well, he was the first option, right? Whether it was pass, whether it was shoot, right? Kyrie was there. That was the second option, right? So I think you bring Westbrook over there. Westbrook's gonna have those nights where he's scoring, and Love is gonna play the back burner, and you'll have RJ Barrett there, right? Young kid. But if Kevin Love can just grab you 12 boards a night or 10 boards a night, and get you 18 points a game, Russ is going to get you 25, 8 and 8 easily, you know. Um and then RJ Barrett can do his thing as a second year guy, right?
Hmm.
I think that gets you guys into the playoffs and makes you guys, relevant. Or maybe you guys call the Magic and get Vucevic, you know. Look what Russell Westbrook does for centers when Capella was over there. Um
That's what I'm saying with Mitchell Robinson. I think the Knicks are high on Mitchell Robinson. He's a draft guy. He's a guy that we homegrown, not homegrown being from New York, but just homegrown in the organization. We don't have to pay him for years to come. I think a Russell Westbrook and him, that duo, I think it could work with RJ Barrett on the wing. I think you're on to something, man. I'd get Russell Westbrook. I don't know about
and
giving anything up for Love, but
and if they can't get Russell Westbrook, then maybe they call Indy and they go get Oladipo.
I don't want Oladipo, man. You know how I feel about him. You know how you feel about him. I
Yeah.
don't I don't want that kid, man. I think he's a talented player, talented musician, with his singing and R&B and all of that. I just don't think he's got enough dog for us, man. Russell Westbrook could come into the Garden, barring he stays healthy, playing above the rim. The intensity that he has would just be infectious to a young group of guys. I think that would be the perfect spot for him.
And the big piece about Russ is he don't give a fuck about the media. So New York media it's not gonna ruffle his feathers
What
like it does
he's gonna
everybody
get, he's gonna be. I mean, if Russell Westbrook came to the Knicks, just his attitude and his swag alone, you talking. Let's talk about off the court fashion, the sound bites, the commercials. Knicks fans will fucking love Russell Westbrook, yo.
else. Yeah.
The first time he goes up and dunks on somebody in the garden, it's over. Forget about it. Forget about it.
Yeah, he's a fit for New York, man. I don't know if he'd be the greatest fit for the team, but for the city, yeah, Russell Westbrook is a fit for the city, man. One
Yeah.
hundred percent. Um, what else,
Question:
man?
have
What you?
you caught up with Lovecraft Country yet?
No,
Okay.
I have not
Okay.
had time to. I need to make time. I'm so far, but I'm like 3 or 4 episodes behind. I'm pretty frustrated about that.
Yeah. So we're not gonna dive into that. Power. Have you kept up with Power? Did you? I didn't see today's episode yet, but I saw last week's. Did you see that one?
Yeah, I didn't watch today's yet either, but I have. Yeah, I've been watching. I have been watching Power.
Uncle Snoop. Did you see? Did you see how Uncle Snoop walked the back when 50 was
Yeah.
like 50 was like Uncle Snoop gonna be mad at me about this shit, and Snoop was just like, oh nephew, you took me for a loop there.
Right. Yeah. I think Snoop has to be PC right now. He has to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I think that's what that was about personally. Um,
A lot of
it was
people,
cool, OD.
a lot of people in the community, man, have been talking about these shows and how black shows are seemingly ensuring that they get a LGBTQ message across to viewers. And like Lovecraft Country, I think certainly went out of their way early, when Atticus was just walking around the corner looking for his father,
Mm.
and the dude was getting head by seemingly a teenager. Um, and it was just like, he couldn't just be in the bar and just talk to him. So it's been something I've been seeing getting discussed in the community lately. People saying it's the agenda, etc. For me it's like, I'm cool. Like, I don't knock it. I look for the purpose of stuff in shows. I look for the angle. I look for the why. You know what I mean? Like, what does this do to show? What is this show? So like in Power, you see the kid Drew already struggling, that he's looked at as the non-aggressive brother. He's looked at as the punk. So do we say, okay, where does him being gay fit into that? And when we see it on camera and he just has random sex with one of the teammates, it's just like, where does this fit in? Does this now become leverage over him in the future? Does Mary J being his mother and the crazy lady give a fuck? Like, where does this fit? And that's what it, for me, when I look at shows, I look at every piece of everything that comes on screen, and I just ask myself, like, where does it fit? So,
I think it's gonna become Tariq having something to hold over Mary J's head
hmm
that he can go tell the father in jail about, that the father in jail doesn't know about, because Mary J, they kind of alluded to it at the end that she knew what was going on. She gave him that little speech when he was in the shower. So I think that's something Tariq is gonna know, hold over his head. But yeah, man, the forcing of it. I mean, Lil Murda and now this, and like, there's nothing wrong with it, but I just feel like we feel when we're putting black shows out there, it's almost like we feel obligated, um, and required to involve the LGBTQ community, and like we can't live without it in a show. Shit, even fucking Empire. You rewind years and talk about Empire with Jussie Smollett. Like it's just like black shows. It's almost like we have to do this, and we don't. Like somebody needs to tell them we don't have to do it. Is it acceptable? Sure, but in every single show, it's not necessary. It really isn't. And that's just my take on it, man. We see where it goes and how it plays. Maybe it's just a way for them to prove that he's not the one and the other brother is, because he crazy as hell.
yeah, and like I said, man, and I'm with you. I don't need to watch it. I don't need to. It's just like somebody saying they don't want to see the sex scenes, or like your parents saying they don't want to hear a lot of cursing on the show. For me, I don't need to see it. I don't need to see it played out. I don't. I just kind of want to know where where it falls out, like where it connects, like what happens, like what is the mission of that part of it, because you're writing it into the story. So okay, he can be gay, like okay, we haven't seen the brother Kane smash nobody or do anything, so it's just
Oh
like,
no, he was getting head in the bathroom. Remember, and he was beefing
nah.
with. So remember in the party, the first time that Tariq came over to
Oh
the thing.
yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, either way,
And
yeah.
and, I, and see, those are the scenes that is just like, and I guess because that was heterosexual, I forgot it. I don't know. It's just like, what do you? I just wonder what the thought process is when you insert certain things into the TV world. And so yeah, you brought up, and it's funny you said that because I was hearing the little murder song, and I was like, yo, that shit's actually pretty hard. But yeah, even with that, it was just like, yeah, we know some dudes in the streets that, you know, they used to call them homo thugs.
Hmm.
So it's like, okay, are we driving that point home? Is this gonna come out later in the wash? Is this really how a lot of people live? Like, so every show, is this really reality for people? So I guess those are just the questions I have. But Fargo is a new show on FX, and Chris Rock is a front runner. Um, and it's got a heavy black aspect to it. I don't know that we're gonna see any LGBTQ action in there. It's not. It hasn't even really gotten that raunchy where you're gonna see maybe any sex at all. But so yeah, I don't know. I'm paying attention to it because it does seem like now that black heavily casted shows are making it a point to portray or depict that aspect of life. And for me, I just needed to connect to the show to make it make
Right.
sense for me. So,
Yeah.
man.
I think you said it. January. There's a date for Cobra Kai season 3.
And they've already greenlit a season 4.
Yes, yes. I think it was like January 13th is Cobra Kai
I'm with
season
it.
3, I
I'm with it.
believe.
Phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Little over the top with the school fight scene. Like nobody came to break that shit up. No viable adults could stop these kids. That shit was kind of crazy.
I thought the scene was dope though. I mean, they did a really good job with January 8th actually.
Mm,
I thought they did a really good job with the scene,
hmm
but yeah, uh I agree with you. It was I mean, but right, it's just
It's TV.
that's yeah, it's TV. It's how it goes, man. You got to keep people engaged. And I mean, I think because we watched it and they were the way they were showing it piece by piece made it seem, if you think of it as these pieces were happening simultaneously as opposed to this is happening right now and then now this is happening 2 minutes later and this, it may not have you think of it as not being as long as it seemed, right, when watching it. Because watching it seemed like it could have been like a 20-minute, 30-minute fight, some shit.
That shit seemed forever.
But if the way I thought of it was okay, so they're just showing us what was happening at each stage, until they move to a different scene or whatever. But yeah, man, my guy Miguel, man,
Fucked up the cooch with his mom and sensei.
yeah, Sensei was about to get some. I'm, I'm upset about that.
Yo, the speculation and the potential scenarios for season 3 are pretty amazing. How they went to Okinawa or Japan to shoot, I think.
Oh, did
And
they?
I believe so. And I think Yumiko, Daniel's love interest in number 2, the Japanese lady, I think they're speculating she might come back. The dude, the villain, the Japanese dude, I can't think of his name. Sato's pupil is rumored to come back. Sato is dead as well as Miyagi's son.
Yeah,
So we're not gonna see those guys. And then Allie might make a comeback.
that's who
She
I'm thinking.
she's
I'm
a
sure
pediatric
she's coming
surgeon.
back. Yeah, she's coming back.
She's a
She's
pediatric
100%
surgeon.
coming back. Oh, is she?
Absolutely. She's a
Yeah, so she's gonna
pediatric
be working on
surgeon.
Miguel.
Yep. And she accepted the friend request at the end, and
But the
uh
question is gonna be, how does he know? He threw the phone.
yeah, I mean, well, that whole scene and scenario is going to bring a lot of attention to this town. So, it'll make sense for her to come back, and she'll be the one that'll have to get him off, the schneid there, and get herself back to herself. And by him, I'm talking about Sensei.
Yeah, I
So
think she reaches out to Daniel's son.
yeah,
And he's married now, but he still probably got a little thing for her.
I hope he leaves his wife though. His wife is trash.
Yeah, she's something different, man.
Nagging. You got millions of dollars. You ain't doing shit but running the motherfucking running the motherfucking business. You know what I'm saying? Like,
She's a
like
woman. She's a woman.
you know what I mean? Like this dude, like what wife would be pissed off that her husband is taking time to continue to teach their daughter karate, bond with his kid, okay? Not only bond with his kid, but save another troubled teen, and then taking a bunch of other kids who are being bullied. What kind of person are you? Like, what kind of
You know
person are
what
you
kind
to
of
be mad at
person
that?
she is. We see this all the time in shows like this. These fucking entitled rich wives, um, which I would assume it's like that in reality. They don't just write this shit. A lot of stuff has some reality to it. But you know, um, they I don't know, man. I don't know. It's but he gets annoying sometimes too.
Yeah,
Like
Daniel's son
LaRusso,
definitely does.
he gets a little annoying at times, man. And I'm like, come on, dude, relax.
Definitely does.
I'll be
Definitely.
waiting for Sensei to beat his ass. I'm like, oh, fight him.
You stupid. Since they don't want that work, he caught that kick 30 something years ago. He's still feeling that joint.
Yeah,
That
but
shit
we
was
ain't.
funny.
Yeah, but when we seen Danielson fight on the beach, he was slow compared to Sensei.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Them
yeah.
roundhouses and shit was super slow compared to when Sensei fought them kids. So I don't know if he want that smoke, man. He don't want it, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool, man. It's cool. I can't wait for it to come back. You been watching anything else new?
Fargo. Fargo, I think is shaping up to be pretty good. You should take a look at that. They had the
I
season,
want to. I haven't started it yet, but I will be doing that.
yeah, they had the season debut, and then they played the second episode back to back. And then there was LA's Finest, which is the new show that Gabrielle Union is doing with Jessica Alba.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's been on
Mm-hmm.
Spectrum. It's been on Spectrum for a while now. So that's a Spectrum original. So
Mm.
we rolled that out last year or the year before here in with Spectrum. That's the service I have. And
So
I
you
watched
so
it.
so they got the episodes like all of them out with you guys,
Yeah,
or oh wow.
yeah. The first season, I watched a few episodes, but I got a little disinterested because it's a spin-off of Bad Boys.
Yes, it is. It
So
is.
it is a spin-off of Bad Boys. Um, but they're a little like so it almost seems like Gabrielle Union is trying to play the Mike Lowry role, kind of like, you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Precisely.
I don't give a fuck. I'm, whatever. But it's like she's ODing, like she's overdoing it. And I could take that, like even if Bad Boys was a show, like I could take that in a 2 hour film, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But the overwhelming um crazy, outlandish situations of, gunfights and shit like that, it's too OD in that show for me. So I think I got into like 4 or 5 episodes,
Mm.
and then I stopped. Hopefully the writing got a little bit better. I'll go back to it maybe and check it out.
Well,
But
I think if you saw this, I mean, because you already said the first season was out, so I think the rest of us are just getting it now. So I don't know.
yeah, they're on the second season now. Actually, second
Oh
season I want
shit!
to say was already released
Wow,
for
why would they do that? That's just wild.
because it's an original. So it's basically original content, similar to when they put something out on like Netflix that's specific to Netflix.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was just original content. So they have a few shows like that. That's just one of them. They have about 4 or 5 that Spectrum has put out like that. Um,
Hmm.
one is like a racing show, like they're racing, and yeah, it's some crazy shit. But yeah, there's a few of them. And I think they just did that for that reason, right? To try and get people to want to watch it, and then after you get the first viewing of it, and you get your taste of it, now you can roll it out to other individuals. Video games, they do that shit on, with, Sony and Xbox, and they do that shit with a lot of stuff.
Very true.
But yeah, they have a few of them, and that's, just the content piece to it.
Very true. Anything else new that I've watched? Fargo, Lovecraft.
I got to get back to Wentworth. Wentworth just put its 8th season out, which is the final season of the show.
Mm,
It finally hit Netflix Wednesday. So these next 2 days while I'm off at night, that's what I'll be watching.
that's the prison
Probably.
show, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's
Mm,
only 8 episodes. It's basically Australian version of Orange is the New Black, and I like it. It's one of my favorite shows.
nice. I want to see Free Ray Sean. It's on Quibi or whatever that is. But it's the guy. Shit, I can't think of his name, man. But Lawrence Fishburne is in it, and the guy who played Jesse Owens, I think his name is Steven something.
Yo,
Can't
Alvin
think.
Kamara is something else, bro. This dude is like,
Killing it right now.
he's a machine. Drew
Fuck
Brees
him.
just threw him a pass over his shoulder. Man, this dude is nasty.
Fuck him. Because when I drafted him last season, he fucked me over. And
Odell just scored again.
this year I avoided him. Yeah, that's not good for me because I wanted him to have a bad game so he could want to leave Cleveland. But yeah, but I don't think there's anything else that I've been watching out there that I can think of off top right now. But yeah, I did. I was watching the other night. Once Bitten. You remember that movie?
No.
You remember Once Bitten where um fuck is his name, man? Jim Carrey was in it, and the vampires.
Mm-mm.
Ah, it's an old movie. I mean, we were. I mean, shit. Yeah,
What's it
we
on?
were. It's just an old. It should be. You can find it anywhere probably, but it came out like '85. But it was one of those movies that I saw on VHS later on in life, and it's
Yeah.
just been one of my favorite movies. It's funny as shit, man. But that's a good old classic, old classic, man. Jim Carrey, at a young age, man, he's a pretty talented dude, yo. Pretty
Spe-
talented dude.
Speaking of Jim Carrey, Saturday Night Live aired
Ah,
last night.
yeah, he was biting. Did you watch it?
Yeah, I didn't. I gotta watch it, but I did
Mm,
see clips from it. But I'm gonna go
hmm.
back. I definitely want to go back and watch it for
Yeah,
sure.
that should be funny. That should be
I will.
funny.
I'll be watching it. I'm gonna probably watch it at some point today, probably between like the 4 o'clock and 8 o'clock games.
Yeah, indeed, indeed. I don't know what I'm gonna do. 2 o'clock. I've already missed the first hour of drinking. I'll probably wait till the Ravens fans clear out
The first
bars.
hour of drinking, not the first hour of football, but the first hour of drinking.
Listen, man, I've been doing good lately, actually, man. Like I went out last night, the boys was out last night, and just a lot of young guys, man, just married guys, dudes with education, just building, man, playing cards, smoking cigars, shooting pool, no women around, just, not even doing nothing crazy, just everybody cooling. But I was hydrating, man. people was drinking, I was drinking water. So I came out on top once again. But yeah, man, I've been doing good, man. I've been wanting to get shit faced, but I just been like, nah, I'm not gonna get
This
shit
is that
faced.
time of year, man. This is generally the time of year when the weather breaks where you do want to go out and have a drink and a stove and just, kick it. But COVID got another
COVID,
fucking plan, man, and it's starting to
COVID,
show its fucking face over and over. So,
COVID, man, it's crazy. It is insane how this
yeah.
world has changed. How you can, as a black man, you have to put on a mask now to get in the store.
And yeah,
ten,
right.
10 years ago, it'd be a code with the cops. So
And they probably still look at you crazy coming in with a mask on.
I feel crazy.
Hmm.
I feel like I'm about to rob a spot.
I mean, I don't know about that. But I get it.
Yeah, why not?
I get it. All right, man. I think that's all that I need to touch on. Anything that you can think of that happened this week that we didn't touch on?
Nah,
Okay.
not that I can think of.
All right. Well, we don't have VP here this fine day. So, do you want to do the honors or you want me to do the honors?
Hey, man,
You probably know all the platforms.
DSPs and platforms.
Yeah.
Hey, man. I mean, as always, thanks for rocking with us. Castworthy Podcast. Find us on IG, Twitter, and Facebook, and YouTube. Uh, you can listen rather to the episodes on iHeartRadio, Google, Apple, Spreaker, Spotify, and almost anywhere you can find podcasts. Yeah, man. So could have made any other decision, but you decided to be with us here, and we thank you, man. So subscribe, share, and support.
Sounds good. Peace.
Peace.